Hello everyone, my name is Pacha and welcome back to, of course, another episode of Raven Creek Park. And after last week, where we had a little bit of an outside placement of an animal that was not from the new Eurasia animal pack, because we built for the beaver, as you see in the background here, this time we are back with the Eurasia animal pack. And we are building for, I think, one of the cooler animals from that pack, at least in my mind, in my opinion, of cool animals, which is the European wisent. And yeah, if you are not a German person or a Polish person, you might pronounce it wisent, and you can do that. But if you want to know how it's really pronounced, because it is a German word or a Polish word, somewhere in between there, it's pronounced wisent. But yeah, we can also just say the European buffalo, or the European forest buffalo, or the European lowland buffalo. There are a couple of names, as with always with some of the animals that we have here. But yeah, it is one of the animals that I really wanted to have in Planet Zoo. I don't know for what reason. Maybe because the American bison wasn't that good of a model, and it really shows now, comparing it next to the European wisent, that the American bison is showing its age. It's showing that it was one of the earlier animals that Frontier did. But yeah, the European bison is really an amazing addition. It looks phenomenal, it looks amazing. The size is correctly, not like the European American bison, which is way too small in game. But yeah, now we have a real one, a real old world bison, a real world old world buffalo, so to say, a real bison in the game with the European bison. And I just say, I don't know how much I will say bison in this video. Let's call it wisent. The wisent is amazing. That's what I want to say, and it immediately knew it needs to have a place in Planet Zoo, in my zoo in Raven Creek. And yeah, also if my voice sounds a little bit different, and if my whole commentary sounds a little bit different today, it's because I'm a little bit sick at the moment. I have a little bit of a cold, which is a little bit affecting my voice and my mind a little bit, so don't mind if I'm saying some weird shit or some confusing stuff today. It's just because of the cold, and I hope next video I will be better again. But yeah, speaking also of next video, there will not be a video next week. Next week there will be a break, no video. We will still stream on Friday, as we will also stream on this Friday when this video goes live, but no video, because I'm currently in the middle of my university exams, and I want to have at least one full week where I just can concentrate on these exams and nothing else. No video, no other stuff. So next week, no video, sorry for that. Then after the week that, we will be back with a video and with an awesome animal, with I think my favorite animal from this pack. So in 2 weeks, we will also complete this kind of riverside trail, which we started with the European wild boar, with the beaver, and now with the wisent, which of course you already kind of saw in the background of last video if you have watched it, with the American beaver, because this habitat is basically connected to the American beaver habitat. There are two separate habitats. They are not connected in game, so to say, but you can see the wisent from the beaver habitat in the background, which I think looks really cool. And now that this habitat is finished, it looks even cooler, and you will see that in the end game part. You didn't saw it in the intro part because there was no intro. That's another thing I have to say. A lot of things I have to say today apart from the video that you are watching. There was also no intro because of the nature of this habitat. It basically lives from other perspectives, from other view lines, from other habitats, because this habitat can be seen from the beaver habitat, it can be seen from the boar habitat. It is a very long stretched habitat that goes way into the back, and the actual viewing area that's only for the bison is a little bit small, so I didn't really know how to do a proper intro scene for the bison, and so I hope it's okay that this time I didn't have the intro scene. But yeah, talking about the habitat, we just saw that we did all the barrier stuff. We did the barrier for the viewing area, which just a dry mode that the bison can't get into or can't get over to, and then a very low visitor fence, because the the bison can't get close to the visitors, and they shouldn't, because they can be very dangerous animals, as all bovines can be when they are being startled. They can get quite aggressive, as is typical for bulls. And now we are building the indoor area. So not this time, again, a fully indoor area built with some custom-made stables here that are that take some inspiration from real-world buffalo stables and real-world buffalo fences from indoor areas. So if you want to have some inspiration for your WISENT, water buffalo, or American bison backstage area, be happy to take these as an inspiration for your zoo. And the whole area, the whole stable, I want to keep it as low effort as possible. So not in the mean that I'm doing low effort, but in the means that the zoo is doing low effort, or is not spending a lot of money to make it the most pristine and the most beautiful backstage area. It is functionality over design, basically. So it is similar in design and similar in appearance to some other backstages we have, mainly from the outside. It will have heavily inspiration from the South American backstages that we built. We have one big backstage I'm really proud of, and if you haven't checked out the video, it's on my channel, about the most amazing backstage I ever made, as I ever made. And it's not saying it's the best backstage ever made in this game, but that I'm very proud of it. But the whole area is very functionality, very utilitarian, I should say. We have 3 stables, so we have two main stables for the cows, where we can have the cows, but we can also separate one of them if we have, for example, a mother with their calf, we can separate them in one stable so they have a little bit of privacy. And then we have a separate stable that we are seeing right here now in the background, or in the foreground. It's using it for me, it's in the background, which is for the bull. So because we need to separate the bull outside of breeding areas, or even if we don't want to breed, they can get quite aggressive during the breeding season because of all the testosterone that is flowing through their body. This is the case for all bovines, basically. So if you want to build a semi-realistic or realistic backstage for any bovine, for any bull species, consider having a separate area for the males to separate them during their breeding season, or other things when they get aggressive, stuff like that. And this is what we're building right now here, so we can separate it if we need to. And why we're building that, why we're doing that, why we're now building a fence gate. We have the fence. We are building a gate, of course, to either close or open it for the bow. We can also talk about what an amazing story the WISENT has in the history of Europe. It is one of the biggest land animals in Europe. I think it's only the European moose, or the Euro elk, as we call it here in Europe, is bigger than the WISENT. But in Central Europe, it is the biggest land animal that there is. And they have almost been extinct in the past. I think 100 years ago there wasn't even one single WISENT in Germany, or only a few dozen in Poland, and basically it was in the brink of extinction, this animal, and which is very sadly, and of course it was due to overhunting, due to habitat loss, all the stuff that also caused the American bison to almost go extinct. And then Europe did something very incredible, and I also should say Poland and Germany did something very incredible. They started a breeding and conservation program for the WISENT in natural reserves, where they kept the bisons and provided a safe habitat for them, where they just could exist, breed, and multiply. And this really helped. I think in just a couple 50 years or so, the population of WISENT drastically grew throughout Poland and Germany. And there's even a WISENT reserve very close to where I live here, up in the Baltic Sea. There is like a little island where they have wild WISENT in a reserve where they breed them, and then once the numbers are stable enough, some of them get released to the wild to live there. And yeah, the wiesent population in Germany is growing, and in Poland and in neighboring countries it is growing by the years, and it is amazing because this animal basically came back from extinction, so to say. That's how bad it was. And yeah, wouldn't we have done something, it would have been gone forever and nothing could have brought it back. And it is really an amazing animal. It is very different to the American bison. The American bison mainly feeds on grass. It lives on the prairie, on the grasslands. The European bison is a forest dweller. It feeds on shrubs, on leaves, on bark in the winter, on bushes and stuff like that. It also feeds on grasses, but this is not their main food source. They're mainly browsers and grazers, and they prefer the forest over the wide open plains. So they're also a very elusive animal. It is very hard to track them down, to know what they are doing, because you can't really see where they are. And in zoos, I don't know how common they are in zoos outside of Europe, if there even are some in zoos outside of Europe. I know they are very common in European zoos, or specifically in German zoos, as I haven't been to a zoo where I haven't seen a wiesent. And they're always really an amazing sight because they are such gigantic creatures, and you can just imagine, as an European, how crazy it must be to go on a hike in the forest and see just this gigantic bull, this gigantic cow walking through the forest. And yeah, it's a sight to behold for sure. But yeah, building now the windows for our backstage area, because of course we don't have any windows in the on the sides, on the walls, so we want to have still some natural light for the animals. And we don't really have to care about insulation or stuff like that, because these animals of course also can endure very cold temperatures, as Polish and German winters can get very cold over here, and they live even further up north, near Russia and stuff like that, so it can be very cold, and they're okay with that. And since we are in Oregon, in a more of a cold climate area of Oregon, even the summer wouldn't be too hot for them. But what is important and what you can keep in mind for the bison is that they have at least some sort of water source or mud source able to be able, so that was what I was searching for them to be able to roll around and to cool themselves up. And yeah, water is a very specific thing that these animals need, because they also sometimes feed on aquatic vegetation. And I might even enlarge the water area that I have for them in this park, because of course I couldn't make it too big because it is connected to the beavers, and I also wanted them to be too far away from the beavers, because when they are drinking, they of course only drink at the shore of the lake, obviously, and if that would be too far away from the beaver area, it would not look as good in the viewing area for the beavers if the wiesent was very far away. So I decided to go for more of a smaller viewing area, but instead I gave them, I think we will see that later, 2 mud pits where they can roll around, and they happily use it. And I have to say, even that this habitat is more of a, it's not that the most interesting habitat. You can't do a lot of rock work or with a lot of plants, because of course these animals would eat most of them. So you have to be very careful what plants you use. You have to protect the trees basically from destroying them by rubbing against them. But I think we will see that in the real-time part, I still managed to make an awesome habitat. And building the sliding gates that we of course also need. All of them are custom made. And if you want to, and let me know in the comments if I should put all these gates and fences on the workshop. And a few of them are already in the workshop, so if you're looking at that, you see stuff like, I think, backstage fences or backstage indoor fences. These are the fences I used in my South American backstage area. But if you also want maybe like a second part of these fence types, with, for example, this one or some I built for the boars, let me know in the comments down below, and I see what I can do, and if I can upload them in the near future. Of course, if people are interested in that, I will of course do that. But I also get a lot of comments of, can you upload this habitat to the workshop? And especially with this one, I think it's easy to explain how I sometimes can't do that, because this habitat is basically dependent on the other 2 habitats that are on the side of it. It's basically formed in the way to wrap around these other 2 habitats, so uploading that to the workshop doesn't kind of work. It would look a little bit weird with a lot of open spaces and weird empty areas. So please keep that in mind if you are that if I say I can't upload this to the workshop, it's not because I don't want to, because I don't want to share stuff with you. It's mostly because I build habitats in the way that they are connected to other habitats, that they are specifically designed for that area that they are in, and only if when I made a specific showcase habitats for new DLCs or stuff like that, then I plan them with uploading them in mind. So but as I said, we are now building all the enrichment stuff, some feeders, some mud pits, some rubbing trees around a real tree, so they rub around this fake one instead of the real one. And then we also of course need a little bit of a shelter if the sun is a little bit too hot on a day. They need a little bit of cooling, so we will need a little shelter here. They can get inside the backstage area, so in game they can get inside, but I still wanted to give them another place to relax and chill, and it's even close to the beaver habitat again, so guests can maybe see them, but they still have a lot of private area too. But I will now leave you to the rest of this speed build with some nice music. I hope my commentary wasn't too confusing, wasn't too bad because of my sickness. If so, I'm very much apologizing for that. It will be better next time. And again, next week no video. Week after that we will be back with a very awesome, hopefully awesome idea and awesome animal. And I hope I'm also healthy again next week. But as I said, leave you to the rest of the video with some music, and then I see you at the end of the video with the showcase part of this video. So enjoy the music, enjoy the speed build, and then I see you at the end. Okay, here we are now, and we are looking at the old American bison before we look at the amazing new European bison. But yeah, I wanted to start over here on this side because I don't know how to show this habitat properly without a full tour of the whole area. But yeah, this is how this area looks now, and can I say how much I'm enjoying how this area looks, how it developed into this forestry bison retreat basically, with all the trees, still not a huge amount of trees, but still creating the feeling of it being in a forest and stuff like that, and the hill in the background, the mountain in the background slowly sloping up. It is really amazing, and seeing the big animals here and the backstage and the backstage in the back. But yeah, this is the sort of the main viewing area over here, where you can get up close and personal with the bison when they're coming up for feed time or just to see the visitors. But of course there are other viewing areas, and we will go through them some more. There's also another viewing possibility for you guys. If you want to get up close to a bison, you can go here. They can't hurt you, but you can get up close. But yeah, if we follow the path and we ignore the emptiness around to the right, we of course also get this viewing area, where I should take the time a little bit. Maybe I don't get it in the sun. But yeah, of course we have this viewing area with a twerking beaver in the front. I don't know why, but yeah, here we have the bison in the beaver area. So now we can see the bison here in the back, and in the back. I really love how this worked everything out. So we have the beavers, we have the bison in the back, and they create this sort of panorama effect of a natural scene in the forest with a lake, and then you have the wisent coming out from the forest and to enjoy a drink. Really cool, and I really love that everything worked as intended. But of course there is another viewing area, and let me reset the time a little bit here. To that, and this is for the boars. And if we now go here, and yeah, oh my god, we are lucky. We also have the wisent there in front of the boars, a little bit more hidden because of the higher walls, but still visible for everyone, for the zoo guest if he's not running away. But yeah, we have these 3 viewing areas here now, and let's jump up here so we can take a quick look at the indoor area. This is how it looks now. I added some decoration and some stuff outside of the video time in last week's stream. So if you want to see how I decorated that, I highly recommend watching my streams every Friday. But yeah, very simple, very, as I said, utilitarian. Some hoses, some work tools, some whiteboards to mark down stuff, and then we have the 3 stables here with some feeders and some hay, of course, to feed the animals. So we are very much the simple stuff that you need for these animals, nothing more, nothing fancy. But I really, really like how it turned out in its simplicity. And yeah, this is the wisent habitat. Of course, here is the little area for the male, for the bull, if we need to separate him. And let's quickly run down the hill, run down towards the viewing area, because they are right in front of us, right in front of the viewing. Yeah, I love how also how the sun is going through the leaves, leaves and such. Yeah, there I lost my voice, and this should tell me that I should end the showcase before I lose my voice completely. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a lot of fun. You had maybe get a little bit of inspiration. This would always makes me the happiest if people say they get inspired by this. And yeah, I hope I see you not next week, but the week after that in the next video. And until then, stay safe, have a great time, stay healthy. Yeah, not like me. And yeah, all I have to say is now, bye bye everyone.